Pokemon spin-off games took up a huge chunk of my time when I was a kid. I was crazy about pretty much all of them. I mean, if it had Pikachu on it, I wanted it, and Pokemon Snap was no exception to that. So, to celebrate one of the most requested game sequels ever finally happening, I decided to go back and play through the original Pokemon Snap to see how it holds up today. Did I have a good time? Let's talk about it. The original Pokemon Snap came out in 1999, back when the initial wave of Pokemon fever was at its peak around the world. I played it for the first time at some point in the early 2000s when I was a kid, and my memory of it is pretty hazy if I'm being honest. I remember enjoying it a lot, but I always wished that there were more levels and Pokemon to see. And after looking at user reviews on Metacritic, this seems to be how most people feel about the game both today and even back when it first came out. There were even a couple people who were angry that the game wasn't a traditional Pokemon game, but they were clearly just upset because they genuinely didn't know what kind of game they were buying at the time, and that's on them, so yeah. Pokemon Snap is technically an on-rails shooter, but instead of shooting things, you're taking pictures of Pokemon as you move down a set path. It's a really cool idea for a game, and I don't think they could have chosen a more suitable game franchise than Pokemon to try this idea out with. Just look at these chunky, low-poly guys stomping around. They really managed to capture the feeling of being on a safari in the Pokemon universe. The game has 7 levels, each with a unique theme and a variety of Pokemon to snap photos of. At the time of this game's release, only the original 151 Pokemon existed, and of those 151, only 63 made it into the game. This, along with the previously mentioned 7 areas to, I wouldn't really say explore, but be on rails through, are the most common complaints you'll hear about the original Pokemon Snap. It was just kind of low on content. But that shouldn't discredit what is in the game, because what's here is really good. The Pokemon all have really fun and expressive animations that still look really good today. Every single one of them is packed full of personality. I'm sure that back in 1999 it was really cool to get a look at 3D fully animated wild Pokemon just existing in their natural habitats for the first time ever. And that's something that no one can deny this game did really well. Despite its disappointingly small amount of levels, the game does a decent job of enticing you to replay levels several times over. There are tons of little secrets to discover, like surfing Pikachu and getting Lapras to come closer to the shore by photographing the ones that are way off in the distance. As you build up points, you'll unlock a few items to experiment with, like apples that Pokemon will chase after, pester balls that totally don't blast poison powder into Pokemon's eyes, and a flute that just kind of makes things happen when you play it sometimes. This one just kind of feels like a progression gate to lengthen the game just a tiny bit more, but it's still fun to go back to each level and see what events you can activate with it, especially if it's your first time playing the game. After you complete a stage, you choose one photo of each Pokemon you saw for Professor Oak to grade. He evaluates your photos according to size, pose, and technique, but usually he just seems to mostly prefer close-up shots that are directly in the center of the frame. There were so many times where I took shots that I thought were actually really good and he was just like, your technique could use some work. And of course the opposite happens just as often. His terrible rating system honestly makes this part of the game even more entertaining though, so you can't really complain about it too much. What makes Pokemon Snap so special is that sense of mystery and discovery that has been present in the series since Red and Blue. Trying to get a decent shot of every Pokemon in the game evokes those same feelings of trying to catch them all in the mainline Pokemon titles. Things like figuring out how to make certain Pokemon evolve and getting rare Pokemon to come out of their hiding spots are still exciting to experience today. And you should have heard how I squealed when I finally got Arcanine to reveal himself for a saucy little photo shoot. So if you couldn't tell already, I had a great time playing through this game again. Is it perfect? Well, no, not really. The low amount of content on offer here is still an issue, but like I said, what is here is full of charm and personality, making this a great game to play through in one sitting if you have a few hours to kill. It's also a great game to play with a friend or significant other. Passing the controller back and forth between rounds and laughing at goofy pictures is a really good time. The original Pokemon Snap definitely holds up today. I almost feel more confident recommending it now that a sequel exists because we finally have more of what fans have wanted for years. So if you're interested in new Pokemon Snap on Switch, I highly recommend you check out the classic N64 N64 version that left fans wanting more for all these years. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this quick kind of little video. This is probably the shortest video I've ever done. But yeah, I mean, you know, sometimes, you know, you just write what you need to say in a concise way, and you don't need to make it 15 minutes, you know, just get everything out as concise as you can, and it works that way sometimes. So hopefully you enjoyed. If you want to see more stuff like this, let me know in the comments, obviously. I'd love to just take little quick looks at old games that I enjoy from time to time, because, you know, sometimes you don't have to drag it out, you know, you just play a game, say like, yeah, it's cool, it holds up, you know, that kind of thing. And yeah, you don't need to, it probably sounds like I'm dragging things out now, but it's just because I'm not reading a script anymore. Yeah, you know, it kind of felt good to just make a really concise little, like, 5-minute video, or however long that was. And yeah, so yeah, play Pokemon Snap. It's honestly really good. If you were wondering how I captured such clear footage for it, I was not playing on an original Nintendo 64, even though I do own 2 copies of the game. I own the US version and the Japanese version, but you know, I had to emulate this one to capture the footage, and you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. If you want to play an old game and it's expensive, or you don't have, like, you know, so many kids these days probably want to play old games, but they don't have an N64, you know, they don't have a GameCube, and they're getting so expensive. It's like, you know, just emulate it. Like, Nintendo's not selling it on the Switch. If Nintendo's not gonna sell their old games and make them readily available, you know what? I know it's on the Wii U, but you know what? No one has a Wii U. So don't go telling people to download it on the Wii U. Kids don't have a Wii U. They have a Switch, you know? The Wii U came out in 2013. Like, no one has it. I have one, but, you know, I'm not normal. So, you know, just emulate it. I downloaded it. I downloaded the WiiWare version and played it on the Dolphin emulator, which is, you know, like the GameCube Wii emulator, because the original N64 ROM does not really emulate well. Well, I tried to play it on Project 64. There might be some fixes for it, but when I was playing it on Project 64, at the end of a level, when you would have to, like, choose the photos you wanted to show the professor, they would just show up as, like, black squares. Like, you couldn't actually see what photos you were looking at. So obviously that, like, defeats the whole purpose of the game, so I couldn't play it on there. So yeah, I recommend getting the WiiWare WAD or WAD file, whatever they call it, and playing it on Dolphin emulator. That's, like, the best way to play the original right now. Or if you have a Nintendo 64, you know, find the cartridge. But you know what, like, I have a hard time recommending people going and you know, buying cartridges unless they're really serious about collecting, like I am, you know. But, like, I just can't. I have a hard time suggesting people going and, you know, throwing their money at some dude who's reselling games on the internet for a profit, you know. So yeah, if you want to play the original, just emulate it on Dolphin. That is what I recommend. But anyway, thanks if you've stuck around this long. Thank you for listening to me ramble. I like just kind of throwing my thoughts out there without a script at the end of these videos lately. So and some of you seem to enjoy that too. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a nice rest of your day, rest of your evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are in the world. And I will see you next time. Take care.